Hello, my name is Ben. I am 22 years old. I live in a small town with my family. My family is small. There is my father, my mother, my little sister, and me. My father works in a shop. My mother stays at home and takes care of us. My sister is 10 years old. She goes to school every day. I work as a cook in a restaurant now, but this was not always my life. When I was a child, I did not know what I wanted to be. Sometimes I wanted to be a teacher. Sometimes I wanted to be a football player. But one day, everything changed. I was 13 years old. It was a rainy day. After school, I went home and saw my mother in the kitchen. She was cooking chicken soup. The smell was so good. I stood near her and watched. She cut the onions, carrots, and potatoes fast and easy. She put them in the pot with chicken, salt, and pepper. The smell made me feel warm and happy. She looked at me and said, "Ben, do you want to help me today?" I said, "Yes, Mom." She gave me some carrots to cut. My hands were shaking. I was slow and careful. My mother smiled and said, "It's okay. You will learn." From that day, I helped my mother in the kitchen every evening. I cut vegetables, washed rice, peeled potatoes, and cleaned the table. I started to love cooking. I liked the sounds in the kitchen. The sound of boiling water, the knife cutting vegetables, the spoon mixing soup. It felt peaceful. When I was 15, something important happened. One evening, my mother was very tired. She could not stand up. My father said, "Ben, can you cook dinner tonight?" I was scared. I never cooked a full meal alone before. But I wanted to help my mother. I went to the kitchen. I opened the fridge. There was chicken, onion, tomato, and rice. I decided to make chicken stew with rice. I washed the chicken and cut it into small pieces. I cut the onions and tomatoes. I put oil in a big pot and cooked the onions until they were brown. Then I put the chicken and tomatoes in the pot. I added water, salt, and pepper. I let it cook for 40 minutes. While it was cooking, I washed the rice and boiled it in another pot. My father came to the kitchen and said, "It smells very good, Ben." When the food was ready, I put it on the table. My mother sat down and ate a small bite. She smiled and said, "This is delicious." "Thank you, Ben." My little sister also smiled and said, "You are a good cook, Ben." At that moment, I felt very proud. I thought, maybe I can be a cook in the future. After that day, I cooked dinner every weekend. I watched cooking videos on YouTube. I learned how to make pasta, pizza, meatballs, cakes, and soups. Cooking became my favorite thing to do. When I finished high school, I told my parents, I want to go to cooking school. My father was surprised. He said, "Are you sure, Ben? It is hard work." My mother smiled and said, "If this is your dream, follow it." So I went to a cooking school in our town. The first day was very exciting. The kitchen was big and clean. There were many students like me. We learned how to cut vegetables fast, how to cook meat perfectly, and how to make tasty sauces. The teachers were strict, but I learned a lot. Every day was hard. We worked for many hours. My feet hurt. My hands were tired. Sometimes I cut my finger, and it was very painful. But I never gave up. I wanted to be the best cook. After 2 years, I finished cooking school. I felt very happy. My teacher said, "Ben, you are a very good cook. You have talent." I started working in a small restaurant in my town. I cooked pasta, pizza, soup, and grilled meat. The customers liked my food. My boss was happy with me. One night, I was at home watching YouTube. I watched a video about a young man who went to London to work in a big hotel. He said, "Learning English changed my life. I met many people from different countries. I learned new recipes. I grew as a person." When I heard that, my heart beat fast. I thought, what if I learn English? What if I go to another country and learn more about cooking? I can meet new chefs, see new kitchens, and taste new foods. That night, I could not sleep. I imagined myself working in a big hotel kitchen in London or Paris. I imagined talking to other chefs in English. The next morning, I told my parents, "I want to learn English and work in another country." My father said, "It will be hard, Ben. You don't know English." My mother said, "If you study hard, you can do it." So I joined an English class in my town. At first, it was very difficult. I didn't understand the teacher. I felt shy to speak. But I remembered what my mother always said, "You will learn. Don't give up." Every day, I studied English words. I wrote them in a small notebook. I practiced in front of the mirror. I watched English cooking videos and repeated the words. After 1 year, I could speak simple English. I could understand cooking videos without subtitles. I was very happy. I looked for jobs in other countries. I sent my CV to hotels in London, Paris, and Berlin. One day, I got an email from a hotel in London. It said, "Dear Ben, we want to do an interview with you." I felt very nervous and excited. On the interview day, the manager asked me many questions in English. I answered slowly, but I was confident. He asked, "Why do you want to work here?" I said, "Because I want to learn from the best chefs in the world. I want to cook food for people from many countries." After 1 week, I got an email. It said, "Congratulations, Ben. Welcome to our team." I jumped up and shouted. My parents came running to my room. I showed them the email. My mother hugged me with tears in her eyes. My father smiled and said, "I am proud of you, Ben." 2 months later, I was on a plane to London. It was my first time on a plane. I looked out of the window and saw the clouds. I felt like I was flying in a dream. When I arrived in London, everything was new for me. The buildings were big. The streets were full of people. On my first day at work, I felt scared again. But when I entered the hotel kitchen, I saw the big pots, the shiny knives, and the busy chefs. I smelled fresh bread and soup. I felt at home again. The head chef came to me and said, "Welcome, Ben. Today we will cook something amazing." At that moment, I smiled and thought, this is just the beginning.